Since the fishing is boring, I'll tell my dream. If you saw my tweet about my dream, this was the dream I was talking about. Okay, so this was about, me and a girl that I used to be, like, pretty good friends with. So we were, coming back from a long day of whatever. I don't know what we did. We were just hanging out, I guess, from a long day. And I guess neither of us had cars, so we were just walking around. We got to my street. But I was like, you know, being gentleman, like, yeah, you know, don't worry about it. We'll keep going. I'll walk you home, you know. It was getting dark. Reasonable thing to do. I don't know if we were like a thing in the dream, but she was having a good time. She was very giggly. We eventually make it to her house. And she has a huge ass yard. The yard is very like complex. It has a lot of fences and a lot of gates. We finally make it to her front door. We're like, oh yeah, it was nice spending time with you again. Good seeing you again. All that stuff you tell your friends after you hang out with them. You know, after a long time of not seeing each other. All that good stuff. And as I walk back through her yard, I hear her mom, somehow, asking her if she, like, was with the boy. Because, you know, Asian moms. That's the classic. Maybe just any mom. Let me know if you're not Asian. Let me know if your mom did that to you. And if you were a girl, let me know. Never hung out with people to be asked that. Didn't have any guy friends. Okay. We'll just move on. I wanted to like close all the gates, just to be like polite. Cause there was a few gates that were like still open. There was one particular gate that was like somehow connected to a bicycle. Okay, so I was trying to lock up the gate and the bicycle, which were somehow connected together. And I soon realized that the lock was not like an ordinary lock. It had a lot of elastic on it. It was very elasticy. So I had to like kind of like stretch the lock so it would like finally come together and lock up. Well, actually, as this was happening, there was like a gang. I noticed them walking towards my direction. So that made me all like kind of panicky as I was trying to do this, and then it broke. I didn't want to tell her about it, my friends, because I didn't want them come outside and like deal with the gang or like potentially. And I was of course embarrassed that I broke the lock, so I was kind of like just trying to figure this out on my own. So what I decided to do was just stand there, just in case the gang tries to like steal the bike or open the gate and like go in there. I just stood there to act like I had some semblance of defense. The one thing that made me feel better about this strategy was that, you know, there was cars passing by. There was a few people like across the street doing whatever, minding their own business. But like if something were to happen to me, maybe they'd notice. They didn't mess with me, but they were kind of lurking around my area. They were like somewhat near me. Like they were close enough for me to be uncomfortable, but they weren't close enough to like, they weren't gonna do anything to me. They weren't talking to me, you know. They weren't within arm's range. They were just kind of chilling there, suspiciously. I overhear them though that they were interested in the bike. I did overhear that. I could just tell by their body language, you know, them like kind of looking over. They were intrigued in the bike. Okay, I'm editing this video and I realized an important detail. All the members of the gang, each and every one of them, they all looked the same. It was like you were walking in a video game and you see a group of NPC characters with all the same model. As I continue to stand there, trying to figure out what I should do about the lock, and while simultaneously having some sort of defensive presence. I don't even know how much time passed, but it was getting late into the night. And then eventually, my mind full of anxious thoughts was interrupted by this like loud ass car. Remember, this is like the middle of the late nights. This was like past midnight. This loud ass car drives into the street. I noticed the gang in particular. It was like they were waiting for this big old truck, whatever, to come in this whole time. It's like they were anticipating this moment. Probably the weirdest thing is that it wasn't just a loud ass car. It wasn't just a big car. The driver had a megaphone. He opens the trunk of the truck. You know how like those trucks have like the big ass rectangle on their backs? They open that. And then he says it on the megaphone. He said, "Bikes for sale! Get your bikes here!" So then each and every member of the gang buys a bike and cycles away. And then eventually the seller left as well, because, you know, no more business. I felt like I was delusional. Maybe I was. I don't know exactly how this night ended. I basically got, like, some sort of, like, BS solution for the lock. Like, it was just good enough. My standards were pretty low because it was late, but I was like, okay, well, this will work for now. I'll come back. This will work for now. So I just went home, okay? I went back home. Next morning, I go back to her house. As I was approaching her house, I could see she was in her yard. So that made me, more nervous. And then the gate was open, too. So it was like, I was definitely being, anticipated here. So I walk in. I tell her what happens. Not everything that happens. I just told her that I, like, broke the lock. And then she told me, oh no, it's okay, because this lock has this very convenient fix. So it turns out that if the lock touches any sort of liquid, it could be like the smallest amount. You could go like this. You could go like this, like that. It would magically fix. As long as it comes in contact with liquid, the lock would fix, and then everything would be fine. So she does that, and it, like, repaired itself. And I'm standing there, wondering the science behind it. I was just like, how does that even work? Why is it even elastic in the first place? You know, whatever I'm thinking. I was just in my own train of thought. But then she hit me. She hit me with the line, and then she said, yeah, that's why I'm so good with my tongue. So I snapped back to reality after she said that. That was the one line of the dream that I specifically remember. So then we continue to hang out, and then yeah, it's just a happy ending. It's just a happy ending. So there's my dream. It was pretty great. It's pretty great. Hope you enjoyed that.